Hi everyone, welcome to the MasterbIT weekly workshop. We've had a bit of a break, but in that time I haven't been sitting around. I got a haircut and I set up my new rig. But when I set it up, it lacked something, so I decided to get a 4K screen. I was going to get the $999 proper DisplayPort 60Hz panel from MSY. But then I found this deal at Dick Smith for a 4K TV which does 60Hz over HDMI 2, and I figured I'm going to give that a try. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do an unboxing and then a quick setup and run through of the Dick Smith 41.5-inch Ultra HD TV. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the box. This is my first unboxing on camera, because usually I'm too impatient and I just tear it open and start using it and then think, oh gee, maybe I should have done a video on that. But it's alright, because you're seeing it now. Now, there was a couple of questions I had about this when I was deciding whether I wanted to buy it or not. One was, is it going to play nice with my GTX 960? And by all accounts it should work fine, because the GTX 960 has HDMI 2 and this TV has HDMI 2. But I saw some stuff online saying that the chroma is not full 444 chroma, so the color reproduction is going to leave a little bit to be desired. But I was hoping that they just had it wrong and they were plugging it in via something other than HDMI 2. The other question was, do I need 60 Hz? Because I know for a fact it runs at 30 Hz with the 444 chroma. And then if I'm playing a game, I can just swap it back to 60 Hz and put on VSync, and it should be awesome as a gamer. Because when you're reading the small, tiny little text that will be on this screen, you don't have full 444 chroma. That can actually make it blurry and illegible. So a little bit later on, I'm going to do a test, which is just a picture that you put on your desktop, and if you can read the last line, it means you've got full 444 chroma. So I'm looking forward to that test. Now, this is going to be a bit awkward, so
you can stand and move around and stuff.
Okay. Well, see if I can get this out in one piece without breaking everything. Ooh, I like it. Just put that aside. Instructions. I don't need instructions. Just put this in here. Look at that. Nice thin bezels, beautiful black, high gloss finish. Gonna put some legs on it.
That is gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Very aesthetically pleasing.
Isn't it? I know, it's good. I don't know how to put the base on though. Maybe I should have thought about those instructions.
It's just some screws. You slot it in and screw it in.
Just get you to take that in. Look at that. That's going to be my monitor. I will rule the world! Okay, we'll be back once I've got the legs on. My fears were confirmed. The panel only does full 444 RGB profile when it's on 30 Hz. But it's not terribly laggy. You open things up and they actually appear. You can see there's a definite frame skip there, but for the proper reproduction of the colour, I do particularly like this. That's a YouTube 4K clip. You can't see it through a camera, but that looks spectacular, even though it's buffering all the time. I set it up, I had to calibrate the colour and the contrast and brightness. They were turned up a little bit higher by default, but now you can see it's quite clear. The other problem I have is that I'm sitting so close, my viewing angle at the corners is actually quite tight, so there's a little bit of distortion at the corners. But look at the size of the screen. I could sit back a little bit when I'm watching a movie or whatnot and still be able to do the productivity window beside window beside window beside window. So I'm still pretty pleased with it. So if you want one of these, Dick Smith has a sale on at the moment. They're closing down here in Australia. The whole kit and caboodle is being sold out. Kogan's bought the online section, but the actual stores will no longer operate. So for $399.22, you can get one of them. And if it hadn't been for this bad cable, which I assumed worked but was wrong, we would have been set up on the first turn on. But there's still a little bit of a test I need to do. I've got other operating systems that I need to check it on, so I'll get back to you with my results on that. So, see you in a minute. Alright, well, I've got it working on Ubuntu, OS X and Windows, so really easy to set up once you have the right cable. And I will say though, I did like the setup better on OS X. It was just seamless, whereas Windows and Ubuntu both detected the screen as a 1080p monitor instead of a 3840 by 2160. So I think anyone who has the real estate on their desk should go out and get one of these. 30 Hertz for perfect color reproduction. If you want to play games or watch videos, you can change it over to 60 frames per second. You'll lose color resolution, but then you can just put it back when you're done. Win-win. I mean, the clarity. You go into a shop and have a look at it. I have a test pattern on my... it's in the wrong operating system. There's a test pattern you can load up. I took it down to Dick Smith. They let me have a little USB stick and plug it into the back. And once I saw the resolution that screen was capable of, I mean, I can't see pixels and I'm 6 inches from the screen. It's fantastic. And when I start writing more code and making more music, the extra screen real estate will mean that I can have my mixer window here and then my rack there and then my timeline on the right, and it's all on one screen. It's no swapping and changing between two different screens. It's fantastic. I love it. And look at the way it scales. I mean, for me, that's perfect size for my eyes. And you just get so much screen real estate for $400. So my parting thought is, if you can't afford one now, you better get it on your credit card. Like I did. Alright, thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video, click like. If you really liked it, click subscribe, and hopefully, we've been busy lately, but hopefully we'll see you next week.